How do everyone, and welcome back to Royville Reads. My name is Stefan, and I have a compilation for you today, a graphic novel omnibus, however you want to say it. Well, it's mostly an omnibus, I would think. Volume 1, shall we say, of The Department of Truth, The Complete Conspiracy. Even though it's not The Complete Conspiracy, since it's only Volume 1, but maybe eventually it'll be The Complete Conspiracy. But yeah, that is an amazing cover. And since it is a comic compilation, it was written by James Tynion IV, who I'm a fan of. I do his World Tree, I read his World Tree stuff, and he also did some Justice League Dark that I really liked. And then the primary artist is Martin Simmons. And I've heard some mixed reviews about his art. Some people like it, some people don't. Here is kind of a main idea of the art. Kind of chalky looking, but there is a lot of good stuff. I really like this picture here. It is very evocative of what you're reading, but there's also, here's another amazing picture. And then you also have, when there is other parts of the story, like flashbacks and other items like that, there is some, let me see if I can find one here. They use a different artist. So like, here's a flashback for one of the characters, kind of showing you how they got to be what they were going to be. Very like 1940s, 1950s. Here's the men in black, grays looking characters. And then another good one, let me see, and here is, they talk about something somebody is reading in this library about the history of the Department of Truth, and it's a lot more kind of cartoony art. So, but what is the Department of Truth about? Well, let me give you the truth of what's going on. So the Department of Truth is basically a United States government agency. And in the fiction, oh, and by the way, there is going to be massive spoilers. I'm not going to tell you. I'm probably going to try to keep it to the first part of the book, to give you really like an idea of what this is about. And then you're going to have to read the second part of the book. Also, just so you're aware, this is volume 1. Volume 2 has just come out a couple months ago. I have not read that yet, but the comic is ongoing. It is an ongoing periodical, by the month. Sometimes Tynion, since he is writing so much stuff, will take a hiatus for a little while. But other than that, it is still coming out. So it is not complete. The conspiracy is not complete yet. But the idea, the conceit of this setting is that conspiracies are what people believe. If enough people believe that the world is flat, the world becomes flat. Reality is malleable. And it's all based on consensus and belief. And that's always fascinated me. Why doesn't Apple look the way it does? Why do we associate the term Apple with this red thing? And that's just kind of a surface layer thing. The very first part of the story is some billionaires kind of kidnap this guy, and I think his name, sorry with the shaky cam, I think his name, yeah, Cole Turner. Cole Turner is the main character, and he is kidnapped, taken aboard an airplane, and flown to the ends of the world, where he sees this huge ice wall, basically confirming that the Earth is flat. And it's because enough people believe it. While this is going on, some government agents come, take care of business. We'll just say kidnap Cole back, and he is kind of roped into this agency, the Department of Truth, which is a U.S. government agency. Kind of think Men in Black, even though they're not the Men in Black. That is a different organization in the story. And the Department of Truth is headed by none other than Lee Harvey Oswald. Yes, that Lee Harvey Oswald. He was taken from what happened. He was basically locked in this library and told to read all of this stuff in the past. This happened, and now it's kind of current day. Lee Harvey Oswald is the mastermind in the middle of the web of the Department of Truth, and they're trying to keep the consensus. They're trying to basically protect America, protect the United States from random thought conspiracies. And it's a really cool premise. I think I like the art. I know there are some people that don't. I think it is very evocative of the setting. I like that they use different artists for different time periods, different characters. I think that's really cool. But that being said, the Department of Truth is not necessarily the good guys. And that's partly what Cole Turner is trying to figure out. Because the Department of Truth very early on has him do something that is against his morality, against his conscience, and he is struggling with it and trying to figure out what is going on. Is the Department of Truth real? Who can I trust? Very kind of X-Files-y government conspiracy. Very, very well done. Very well written. That being said, there are a lot of words in this book. It is not like a superhero book where it's punch, done, a little bit of dialogue, rinse and repeat. There's a lot of stuff. You really, in my opinion, for me, I really have to pay attention to the words to really get the feel and get deep into this story, because it is a deep story. It talks about metaphysics. It talks about magic. Like halfway through the book, it talks about the Freemasons and Crowley and the idea of magic and how that fits into the world, and what is magic, what essentially is magic in a world where thought can change reality. And part of the reason why he is put into the Department of Truth, or taken into the Department of Truth, basically the Black Hats is the organization that is kind of the rogue element. They're the ones that the Department of Truth is trying to stop. And then there's the Department of Truth, and both of them are kind of vying for Cole Turner, because he has possibly the special ability to help correct or destroy reality, based off of his perceptions, his worldview, that kind of thing. Because when he was a kid, there was this creature that he thinks that he basically thought into existence. And you don't really know from what the Black Hats are telling him and from what the people in the Department of Truth are telling him. Everybody seems to be lying. Everyone has ulterior motives, and it is really fascinating. This is a fascinating, well done story, and I highly recommend it. Who do I recommend it for? Let's see, if you're into Tynion the Fourth, of course. If you're into his writing, you obviously will, in my opinion, like this. If you can get past the art. I know someone that really likes Tynion and just couldn't get past the art, which it is what it is. That being said, if you like government conspiracies, if you like the X-Files, if you like UFO ideas and history, if you like the shadow government, if you like the nature of magic and how that interacts with the world, this is a book that I think you will love. All right. That's it. That's all I have for you today. The Department of Truth, The Complete Conspiracy, Volume 1. Let me see if I can get this without shaking the camel too much. There you go. Department of Truth, The Complete Conspiracy, Volume 1. A great read. Strong recommend. So, remember what your mom always said. If you gotta be a dick, be a Grayson. And please, keep reading, everyone. Thanks.